Sony has unveiled the Xperia 5 Mark IV, which is shaping as one of the most compact Android flagships on the market. We have had the phone prior to its premiere and we have completed its full review. And while it may be a major spoiler, we can already share that this Xperia 5 Mark IV is an outstanding device that delivers in buckets. It's been more than a year since the Xperia 5 Mark III impressed us, and we are thrilled to meet its successor, the Xperia 5 Mark IV. It improves the screen, performance, camera tech, and quality, and battery capacity. Yet it has shrunk in size. The Xperia 5 Mark IV is the direct successor to the Mark III of the same compact lineage, and it mixes things up a bit in terms of upgrades. Sony has managed to make the phone even more compact, and this comes with certain repercussions. Let's focus on the good news first. The Xperia 5 Mark IV retains many of the great features of its predecessor: the SD card slot, the 3.5mm audio jack, the amazing display, the front-facing stereo speakers. Sony even managed to cram up a bigger battery inside this marginally smaller chassis, plus the necessary coils for the wireless charging system, which is a feat in and for itself. The bad news is that the periscope camera with two separate focal lengths, 70mm and 105mm, is now gone, replaced by a regular 60mm telephoto with the equivalent of 2.5x optical zoom. The retail box is also aesthetic, as Sony has gone full eco, no charger or cable inside in the box, but other than that, we have a really solid compact flagship on our hands. Let's dive in. There's one word to describe the design of the Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV: unmistakable. Fans of Xperia phones recognize and cherish this elongated slender design, the lack of notches and cutouts, and symmetrical bezels. The Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV follows in the same footsteps with minor tweaks here and there. For one, the metal frame is now chamfered, with flat main side and slightly curved sides where the frame meets the screen and the black glass. It's not a huge difference when you look at the phone, but in the hand it somehow feels more compact and premium with this small design change. Other than that, it's business as usual for Xperia: 3.5mm audio jack on the top, flappy SIM slot plus SD card slot on the bottom. The left side of the frame is completely clean, and on the right there's the double action shutter button, the power or fingerprint button, and the volume rocker. The pill-shaped camera bump is right where you would expect to find it, on the top left corner at the back. Speaking of the back panel, it's frosted glass, Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, and it's great at fending off fingerprints. The black glossy Sony logo in the center is also quite stylish. All in all, the design looks and feels very premium. The Xperia 5 Mark IV comes in three colors: black, acro white, and green. The acro white is one that I like the most. It's creamy white, similar to my favorite car paint, Honda's Championship white color. The green option also looks classy, but of course nothing beats the classic black when it comes to style. The camera system on the back of the Xperia 5 Mark IV consists of three lenses with three sensors underneath. Gone is the periscope variable zoom lens from the previous model, and in its place we find a regular 60mm zoom lens. Now the logic behind this has to do with the physical size of the phone and the bigger battery, at least on paper. On the other hand, the Xperia 5 Mark III is just 1mm wider and another millimeter taller than its successor. It's mainly down to the bigger battery than 500 mAh more is substantial upgrade. Don't get me wrong, I take battery upgrades very positively. To me, it is the most important quality of life improvement in any smartphone. The thing is, this new 60mm camera is not spectacular, it's not bad, just a downgrade compared to the 70mm to 105mm variable zoom system in the previous model. Sony keeps using focal length when describing its camera systems, which will make photography enthusiasts happy. The main camera is a 24mm lens with an aperture of 1.7 and a 12MP 1x1.7-inch sensor underneath and optical image stabilization on board. The ultra-wide camera is a 16mm and 2.2 aperture 12MP and a smaller sensor 1x2.5-inch. All bells and whistles from the alpha department are here with some extras on top. You have real-time eye tracking, autofocus on all lenses, object tracking. You can spend all day talking about different aspects of the Photo Pro app or Cinema Pro, Videography Pro, the whole professional suite that Sony is so proud of. And in all honesty, if there's a brand that deserves the Pro moniker on its phones, it's Sony. Thing is, very few people would have the patience and dedication needed to go through all these details when taking shots. Hardcore photography enthusiasts, semi or professional vloggers, etc., normal people would prefer to click on the amazing double action shutter button. I can't believe only Sony is doing it, must be patented, and get a great picture. Sony knows all this, and even though Photography Pro is the default camera software, it launches in basic mode and gives you a trimmed down experience while keeping all the professional and cool stuff happening in the background. Actually, every time your Xperia 5.4 screen locks up, the camera defaults back to this basic mode even if you have just set up your perfect manual shot. I was doing it to complain about the approach, but there's an option in the camera menu to use the last setting used. And there you have it, the unmistakable Sony experience. It's radically different from anything you have seen if you have never tried an Xperia phone before. That is, this is a superhero undercover, ready to swap its tuxedo for a Superman costume and save the day. You just have to know which buttons to press. The Xperia 5 Mark IV is a great phone for Sony fans, professional and semi-professional content creators, and people who like to go against the grain. If you are feeling adventurous or you want to switch your phone experience to something new and fresh, the Xperia 5 Mark IV can do this for you, but at a price, a 4-digit price to be exact.